Hey, welcome to another exciting, fabulous episode of Mikey's Video Game Madness. Do you feel the excitement? If not, that's okay, because I'm super tired and I don't know how much excitement is there. However, I did want to make a video because I haven't made a video in a while, which would make one want to make a video if they enjoy making videos. They obviously want to continue doing things that they enjoy. So today we're playing Bayonetta 2 on the Nintendo Switch. This originally was released on the Nintendo Wii U, which we can safely say was a failure. Probably second to the Virtual Boy, if I were to guess. I think the Virtual Boy was a bigger failure. So unlike frustrated Wii U gamers, or Wii U owners that were loyal to the system that are kind of getting a little bit aggravated that they're releasing Wii U games. I'm happy that they're actually re-releasing Wii U releases on the Switch on a more successful platform. So you're getting new games as well as the old games that you might have missed out on, like me, if you didn't have a Wii U. So I'm pretty stoked about all the re-releases. This was one of the few Wii U games I really wanted, and when they announced this, along with a teaser trailer of Bayonetta 3, this is one of my favorite action platformer series. I will admit, I was kind of bummed when I found out Bayonetta 2 wasn't coming out on the PlayStation 4. I figured that would be the most obvious thing. Unfortunately, people didn't really buy Bayonetta, and it was basically a failure. Nintendo resurrected it, so yeah, you only can get it on a Nintendo platform, so it does make sense because nobody supported it. Well, not a lot of people supported it, but yeah, I know a lot of people feel like Zelda or Mario was like their main seller to play a portable. Zelda or Mario was the main seller, or the thing that would sell them in order to buy a Switch. I have to admit that Bayonetta 2 was the main reason that it suddenly clicked that I want a Nintendo Switch. And when I was seeing that they were starting to release games that were already on the Wii U, I got really excited, and I said to myself, if Bayonetta 2 comes out on the Nintendo Switch, because even though it's a Sega / Platinum Games game, like Nintendo basically produced it and paid for it, so it's basically at this point kind of a Nintendo franchise. I mean, I think Sega still technically owns it, but I think they're super loyal to Nintendo because they don't want to put out the money. But yeah, I'm excited about Bayonetta 3 coming out, and I'm finally able to play Bayonetta 2. And then if I were to say the other games that sold me for the Nintendo Switch was Mario Odyssey, because I'm a huge fan of Mario Galaxy. I don't think there was like a Mario platformer on the Wii U. I just couldn't ever justify getting the Wii U. There just wasn't enough exclusives. But it's just like the Xbox One. Well, the Xbox One X, and more so the Xbox One X. If it sounded like I said X twice, I meant to say S. I'm super tired. For those of you who aren't keeping score, I recently had bilateral inguinal hernia surgery, which I thought only happened to older people. But apparently it happens to people of all ages, and a lot of times it's due to something you're born with. So I had that done last Friday. Today is the following Thursday. Tomorrow will be Friday. I'll officially have been a week. I saw all these horror videos on YouTube where people had the surgery, and they were like in the worst pain you could ever imagine. Now granted, this didn't feel good, but I'm so happy it wasn't as horrible as those videos. I kind of feel bad that I didn't make a little video vlog showing my recovery process. I did get laparoscopic, but I did see some people get laparoscopic surgery that still it didn't go well. I guess it depends on your surgeon or whatever. Maybe I just had a really great surgeon. I don't want to chalk it up to me being like super tough and having a high pain threshold, but I mean, if I'm gonna compliment myself, I really should, shouldn't I? But yeah, the hardest part about this surgery is being an independent person and not being able to lift or not being able to drive for like a week, and you're like stuck at home, which I already am. I like have this horribly introverted like at home life right now, and it sucks, and it's depressing, and that's probably the hardest part of it. And not moving around and being swollen and not being able to fit in your clothes, and then even though it's because you're swollen, you like have this guilt that like you're getting fat from not exercising and shit like that, so you feel down on yourself all the time. I'd say that's the hugest obstacle. Sleep is really hard. I don't know why it's difficult. I mean, I'm tired all the time, but I can't sleep. It's just, you just feel exhausted while you're healing. But yeah, that's the worst part that I don't feel like a lot of people are talking about. So if I sound like a zombie, it's probably because I'm zombified, but I really want to make a video. So Bayonetta 2, this is a fantastic action platformer, and if you like action platformers, I don't think there's a lot of options on the Nintendo Switch anyway, but I feel like you should at least definitely check this out, or definitely check out the older games. But I highly recommend, even though the PlayStation 3 version is very playable, it doesn't run at 60 frames per second. It was like a horrible port, but at least gives you a taste of what Bayonetta's like. I would highly suggest you either get it on Steam, I think it's on, or it might be on GOG.com, I don't know. But if it's on there, I would definitely get it on there, because then you can back up your files from what I understand. I'm not a huge PC gamer, so I'm going by people's advice whenever I'm curious about a PC only game. But yeah, the PC version is obviously the best. This actually came with a downloadable code for the first Bayonetta, which runs great. And if you have the Xbox 360 version, from what I understand, you can play it on the Xbox One, and I heard it runs especially amazing on the Xbox One X. So there you go. Like, if you want the best version of Bayonetta and you have a shitty computer, get it for that if you have that platform, or get it for the PC. I heard the PC is the best version and it's really optimized, blah blah blah. But just getting it for a getting it for a console that it's actually made for, as far as a gaming console, this is the best version to get Bayonetta 1. It's a shame it's not a physical copy, but I mean, you're getting two games for one. Some people will be like, oh, it's an older game. It's an older game that most people didn't play, and I think it's fantastic. For those of you, although you aren't watching my channel, which is why I can get away with saying much as I do, when it's controversial, all I have to do is like apparently put a female protagonist thumbnail on it, and I pretty much guarantee that the toxic people are the closed-minded people who happen to watch my videos. They'll avoid those videos, although I feel like those people have quit watching my videos over time. I'll stick up for whoever I feel that's not being treated right or fairly. I don't care who it is. I'll say the people, like if they're catering to just female gamers, I'll stick up for the people that don't have games made for them or whatever. But this whole controversy about SJW, hidden agendas and all this shit, for the most part, is ridiculous, especially when it comes to Japanese games, because those in Japan, they don't fucking have that stupid shit that we have, where people are scared to be politically correct and stuff like that all the time. So when somebody tries to throw that in my face, like a SJW agenda, especially with platinum games such as Near Automata and the Bayonetta series, I'm like, you haven't even played the fucking game. You don't know what you're talking about. These games are so tongue-in-cheek and don't take themselves seriously. If you're gonna talk about SJW agendas, and I hate that phrase, social justice warrior, because the other side is just as fucking guilty. They're having social justice warrior shit going on just for the opposite end of the argument. They want more games for boys. I actually think it's kind of cool that we're getting more female protagonists, just for the fact that I grew up playing games mostly as these shirtless men and shit like that, and I'm just like, ugh. I'm a guy, and I admit that it's a boys club, and I really like, I don't know, I really like some of these artistic expressions of art, of attractive women that are like strong and shit like that. I don't fucking really care who I'm playing as, because when I'm playing this game, I don't think that I feel like Bayonetta jumping and flipping all around and killing angels as a witch and all that shit. Like the role playing argument's stupid. It's just fucking all bullshit. Some of these people, maybe some of these people are legit, but the person that I was talking about in the other video, they like did like a damage control video not too long ago. I don't even think they watched my video or even aware of it, but they were trying to like backtrack on what they were saying. Is like, oh, you can play what you want, that's fine. You want to play online games, that's fine. The whole time, like, if you like follow their Twitter, or if you know the person like I do and you talk to them on the phone and stuff like that, and you hear the bigoted shit that they say, not only just against women being in games, just in casual conversation where they're saying racial slurs about people and stuff like that. This person unfriended me because I stuck up for the, was it, I stuck up for someone who happened to be homosexual and they lost their shit. Like, since I'm saying this off the cuff, I don't want to say it wrong, but it's like the LGBTQ community. I feel like there's a Q in there. Maybe it just ends at T. I'm sorry to be ignorant, but when I'm on the spot and I'm really tired, I tend to fuck shit up. But this person was saying how much it was like a perversion, a travesty, when they're talking about playing as girls in games. It's like cross-dressing, and people aren't mature enough to play these games. They didn't say mature enough, but they did say it was confusing younger people about their gender, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And then they went into these personal stories about people that happen to be homosexual. So because of a few occurrences, or maybe even one occurrences, therefore all of those groups of people are like that. It's just like, that's the same as saying like, because one man's a rapist, therefore all men are rapists. And it's just stupid logic, and these people are following this person and other people blindly, and they just don't know who they're really talking to. I have personal experience with some of these YouTubers, and it's just frustrating with me. I don't want to talk shit or even talk ill of people, but I'm just so frustrated because the easiest way to get sucked into a trap and kind of get brainwashed and kind of get scooted into someone's way of thinking is that they ease you into their train of thought. I grew up with a very manipulative father, so I'm familiar with the tactics, so it doesn't work on me. But sometimes I worry because I see like these video responses and stuff like that, and it's really upsetting because they don't really know the real person that they're backing up. But I only can hope that these people are mature and they catch up on later. I know a lot of people that are amazing in the game community that got burned by the same person because of their old school 1950s way of thinking. So when they defend a Battlefield, I'm not going to call out the person, but if you see this kind of shit, when they defend Battlefield and they just say because World War II's sacred and all this stuff, and it's not historically accurate. A lot of times that's not some of their main reasons. They're just hiding behind their real feelings, so it's more palatable for you, and they kind of ease you into it as you get closer. And when you get a higher sub count and stuff like that, and you find more people that are like-minded, are doing video responses and super nice to you and all this shit, you kind of condition the people even more. It's like it's I don't want to belittle anyone's intelligence, like they're fucking like being brainwashed or whatever, and they're just gullible or whatever, but shit happens. Like, think about Jonestown, when all those people, like smart people, intelligent people, all different peoples and walks of life. I mean, some people caught on, but it was like too late. But to have that many people that did willingly commit suicide, just like these are extreme examples, like Heaven's Gate or whatever, and all those people like committed suicide at the same time because of one person. There's just psychology behind it that's just crazy, and it just frustrates me. And it's not about being popular, although I wish I could talk and communicate more with people, but I'm stubborn at the same time, where I make these videos for me that I really enjoy, and I can't change my format to cater to a bunch of people. I just would absolutely hate it. So I'm happy for the people that listen, and I'm sorry that I'm all over the place. My last video, I was so embarrassed when I listened to it, but I had to get it done because I had surgery literally the next day. I had no idea how that was going to end up. I had no idea how long I was going to be out of the game. I'm still really tired. I probably have no business making this video, but I wanted to talk about things. And there were so many points that I didn't make. I wrote out, it depends what size font you use. If you use a decent font, it looks like 36 pages, and use a small font, it's like 12 pages. But I tried to read this book report, and I was super tired and dyslexic, and I was just fucking it all up. Meanwhile, these people that I'm trying to warn you against, like, be careful who you're friends with and stuff like that, and their real reasons for doing things and their paranoia and all that stuff. They're such well speakers, and that's why it's easy to fall in the trap. I mean, I don't think I could convince anybody of anything, just because I'm just so awkward at this whole socialization thing. Like, I always wanted like a co-host so I could feed off of the person, because I actually can talk fairly well when there's another person to feed off of. But talking in front of a screen and knowing that, not even though like most of my videos, some of my best videos that aren't like old for like a particular game, like I think Forza and Ninja Turtles and shit like that, and Turtles in Time, the 3D one, like odd choices, Ultimate Spider-Man on a PlayStation 2, those got thousands of views. But I consider a good video, this is really sad, to get 20 views, and I have to take away like 5 from me double checking my own videos. But yeah, so I know not a lot of people watch my videos, so I can't reach a lot of people, and I know I'm not like that personable, and I sound like I'm probably on Valium half of the time. Like, I cringe sometimes when I watch my videos, or I get super frustrated because I can't think. I try not to dwell too much on mental health or whatever, but I have Asperger's and OCD. At least that's what they say. They might change it later on in clinical depression and shit like that. And when you have all that shit going on and you're trying to speak to a monitor and you're shy as well, you can imagine like all this shit trying to get shoved into the same pipeline, and you're trying to, it's like that episode of I Love Lucy, if you know what that is, where all those chocolates are on the conveyor belt and they can't keep up. That's kind of like my thought process, and it's really tough to come out with great points because I have it all well thought out, and when I write it down it sounds like a book report, like I'm reading a script, and I still fuck that up because I'm dyslexic. Obviously I'll do it a little bit better. I should be talking about the game, but if you're used to my channel, I rarely talk about the game. That's one of the things that makes my channel stand out, I feel. It's not on purpose. I mean, what's there to say about Bayonetta? It's beautiful. I bet it would look amazing on the PlayStation 4, but the Switch is a really good system, and I don't really even care as much that it's portable, though it was great because when I went to the hospital, I was playing like a legit version of Mario Kart. I had Mario Kart 7, which I absolutely love on a Nintendo 3DS, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is like fucking amazing compared to Mario Kart 7, which I do really like, but just what they're able to do with the cartridges, it's like having a portable 360 or PlayStation 3 in the hand. Well, although this game at first is a little hard to adjust to on the small screen. When I played it, I was like, whoa, there's too much going on. It's like my brain had to adjust, but it looks fantastic on a big screen. I know some people were complaining about it's blurry because 720p or whatever, but I think they're just used to like the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One S or X, not so much original because a lot of those games ran at 720p, and then obviously PC gaming. So as we advance, I think we start to notice flaws we didn't know before. Like back in the day, like something ran at 720p, you'd think it was crystal clear, but yeah, it looks great, and all the Nintendo exclusives, like that's pretty much what I'm going to get for the Switch, is mostly exclusives unless there's some experience. I'm sorry, I'm choking. The tube that they actually gave me after they give you like the propofol, which is what puts you to sleep in general anesthesia. You can't breathe on your own, which is kind of creepy to think about, like your whole body fails you, and they actually have to take like this metal clamp and insert like a breathing tube, and my throat is still fucked up from that, so I'm choking from that, so I apologize. Yeah, but this game is batshit crazy. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on. It'd be cool if this was on the regular systems or whatever, but I think it looks great. I love the design of Bayonetta. It's like a manga coming to life. It's like they took anime characters and mixed it with a realistic looking character that gives it the humans, at least, obviously the enemies are very creatively designed, but the humans obviously have like a manga like look, but they're also somewhat realistic, and I just love the way that, like, especially Bayonetta and the witches in this look. The concept is you're like a witch that fights angels, and it's really crazy. She has like these guns for shoes and stuff like that, and some of the techniques, like the witch time that you saw there, where she dodges and gets out of the way and everything slows down. That's also in games like Nier, other Platinum games. That seems to be like a ongoing theme. Like, I love Nier as well. It's just so great to play all these games finally. If Xbox One had more exclusives, like, I'd be down more single player exclusives. I love multiplayer games, but I want a majority of my games to be single player personally. And there are a ton of single player games out there, which this whole paranoia that they're fucking disappearing is bullshit. It's just because you're focusing on Call of Duty and other popular franchises like Fallout 76, I think it's called. Vault 76 or whatever might be a multiplayer game. Like, why didn't anybody make a big deal out of Elder Scrolls Online when that came out? I mean, it's a natural fit. It's just an online version. Like, I'm sure that they'll probably have like a single player Fallout 5 game. I mean, yeah, it would be great if they came out with like a sequel like Fallout Vegas 2 or whatever kind of spin-off in the meantime, but that wasn't even made by Bethesda. So like, it's good that they're branching out, and it's a natural progression the way that game works to have it be a massive multiplayer online RPG. And as much as you want to hold on to your physical copies and keep your systems, even with physical systems like I try to keep in mind like what games I really want. Sometimes I'll be like, what system is the most dependable that I'll play it the longest? Because deep down inside, owning older systems and older video formats and TVs throughout time, I know shit breaks after a while, and I'm not trying to have like a Fallout shelter. I guess that's appropriate. Of like old gaming consoles and spending all this money on old shit like a paranoid person. I mean, it's good to have a backup system once if you've like invested in a lot of games, but there's a good chance you might not ever play those games, and sometimes when you go back they're not as great as you remember, so it's whatever. But I'm really happy I get to play Bayonetta 2. This is an excellent action hack and slash game, and it's awesome. It's a one player experience, but multiplayer experiences are good too. I was playing Battlefield 1 not too long ago. I absolutely loved it. Wish I was better at it, but practice makes perfect. I'm not really good at online games because I play mostly single player games, but I'm glad I have the option there. I always renew my PlayStation Plus subscription because I am happy and excited to be part of those temporary rental experiences. But that's just one type of experience. You just have to broaden your horizons. Like, you don't have to like these games or support them, but don't fucking like preach like paranoid propaganda that games don't, single player games are dead and they're dying. And it fucking pisses me off so much when I see other people buying into it just because they see the same shit over and over again. And there's younger people that fucking watch reviews and videos and of like these games they haven't even played yet, and they're already saying that the game's shit and stuff like that. And I try to be nice and respectful, but at the same time it frustrates me. I'm like, have you played it? Like somebody was mad about God of War. The person meant well, but they just have that cliched negative attitude. They're like, oh, it's crappy because it's different. And there's no puzzles, and there's tons of puzzles in the game, so obviously they watch a video. I'm like, have you played it? And they were kind of beating around the bush. Like, unless you want the same thing over and over again, like Mega Man 1 through 25, although I will say Mega Man 11 looks pretty sweet, and I'm actually looking forward to it. Things change sometimes. Life changes, you know? Like, I can't say how much from age 20 to 30, every year was like a decade of experience. It was always fucking different all the time. That's life. Shit changes. And to see a grown-ass person fucking bitch about change and things not going their way is one of the saddest and most embarrassing thing I've ever seen in my entire life, because out of all people, they should know about change, and they should have reached the point in their fucking life where they could be mature adults and deal with it, especially when it involves fucking video games. For crying out loud, grow a fucking pair. But seriously, like, single player games aren't dead. This is proof. If you're focused on fucking Call of Duty and Battlefield and get hung up on other shit, you're never gonna see the options out there, and maybe in the future it won't exist sometimes, and then fucking find another hobby. Just fucking grow up. Fucking too old to be that way. Like, even 16's probably too fucking old to be closed-minded, but I'll give you some leeway for 16 or younger, but after that you have no excuse. Fucking grown-ass person fucking talking about freaking video games. But yeah, this, you'll notice I screw this up a lot, and the last time that I died on this game, I'm not used to the Nintendo buttons being backwards. Like, I'm thinking, like, when it's telling me to push the buttons, I'm thinking of like the Xbox configuration, which it's like A, B, and X, Y, but on the Nintendo controller it's Y, X, and B, A, and it throws me off pretty bad. I used to know it really well back in the day when I played Super Nintendo games, but back then there weren't really too many games I could think of that have quick time events. But I think this game's fantastic, and if we were just getting a Switch for a Nintendo collectible, for Nintendo exclusives, like, I would definitely recommend checking this out. This is one of my favorite series of all time, and I can't wait till Bayonetta 3. I still need to finish this. I haven't played this with the Pro controller, but I imagine it plays a lot better, but I've been playing it with the Joy-Cons, both portable and with that little docking thing that makes it like a little controller, and it plays fine. But knowing how the 360 and a PlayStation 3 controller work, like I imagine the Pro controller works, that's probably something I should look into getting. But it's like $70 depending on where you go. Some places lowered it down to 60, which is roughly the price of the PlayStation 4 controller, so I need to invest in that. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to my ramble and me being tired and all this stuff, but I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for watching my video, and take care. Hope you're all doing well. Bye.
If you want to, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.